Welcome back to Uprising. I'm Sonali Kohatkar. You can now watch Uprising on television. We're part of Free Speech TV's lineup, and you can catch Free Speech TV on Dish Network Channel 9415 or DirecTV Channel 348. And if you can't get Free Speech TV, then you can also watch our show on YouTube at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/uprising with Sonali. For a very limited time, we're going to be offering shows free for everyone to watch, but do subscribe to that channel. We are hoping to get a total of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're very close. Now, the idea that babies are blank slates waiting for adults to shape their personalities and values from the ground up has been thoroughly debunked by recent advances in neuroscience. We now know that babies are far smarter than we think. But what about their values? Are babies born with an innate sense of right and wrong, of justice? Studying that question scientifically is my guest, Dr. Paul Bloom. He is the Brooks and Suzanne Reagan Professor of Psychology and Cognitive Science at Yale University. In his latest book, Just Babies: The Origins of Good and Evil, Bloom concludes from various experiments that indeed babies and children do have an inborn sense of justice and morality. I'm very pleased to welcome to Uprising Paul Bloom.
Thank you for having me on.
Well, first, how can we tell anything about babies? I mean, even though we've all been babies, we don't remember those first few years of our lives. We have no recollection. So you've clearly had to actually experiment with babies themselves. I know that sounds kind of ominous, but I'll let you explain for our listeners how you can tell what babies value, how they can tell good from evil, and what side they tend to fall on.
It can be pretty challenging, and as you point out, we don't remember what it was like to be babies, and we can't ask babies, we can't talk to babies. But we do have some alternatives. What we do in our laboratory at Yale, and this is work in collaboration with Karen Wynn, who runs the laboratory, is we show babies one-act plays. So for instance, babies might see a play where a character is struggling to get up a hill, and one character pushes it down, and another character gently nudges it upwards. And then we show babies these two characters, the good guy and the bad guy, the one who helped and the one who hindered, and we see which one they prefer to reach for, we see which one they prefer to look at, we see which one they will give treats to reward, and which one they will take things away to punish. And what we find is, with studies with babies younger than the age of 1, is they show a strong preference for the good. They prefer to interact with the good, they prefer to reward the good. And across a range of different scenarios, they seem to be sensitive to the difference between right and wrong and prefer the one who helps over the one who harms.
So helpers versus hinderers. Let's actually talk about one of these experiments. Our TV audience can see these videos of one of these experiments that you can conduct, where you can see how babies respond, essentially using hand puppets. You show them one puppet playing with a ball, and when it falls out of his grasp, another puppet grabs it and runs off. Then you show the babies a similar scenario, but a third puppet grabs the ball and hands it to the first. And when you show the puppets to the babies, they almost all want the puppet who returned the ball rather than the puppet who ran off with it. So the helper rather than the hinderer is often or very often preferred by these babies. I'm assuming you're obviously randomizing colors and shapes of puppets and order in which the two scenarios are playing out and still coming up with sort of consistent results?
Absolutely. And whenever I talk about this work, or it gets talked about in the popular press, I get tons of emails saying, "You idiot, they just like the red one, or they just like the one on the left." But we carefully randomize all of that so that half the time the good guy is red and half the time the bad guy is red. We also have a lot of controls in place so that babies can't be cued unconsciously by the experimenters. So, we try to make these good experiments that really do tap the early foundations of morality.